Ooh, ooh, ah, ah, live, learn, grow on Penyo Channel. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Hello, hi, Penyo family. Welcome to Penyo Channel. Penyo means victory, for we are victorious. The book Who Moved My Cheese was created by Dr. Spencer Johnson to help him deal with a difficult change in his life. It showed him how to take his changing situation seriously, but not take himself so seriously. It was not written like most books. It's divided into 3 parts: the gathering, the story, and the discussion. In the gathering, a group of friends are talking about change, how people don't want to change when things change, from losing something to gaining something, how people resist changing because they are afraid of change. This group of people are former classmates who were good friends. They have gathered for lunch, having attended the high school reunion the night before. Then one of them, by the name of Michael, decides to tell them a story called Who Moved My Cheese. In the discussion, they discuss what they think about the story in line with their experiences about change. Cheese is a metaphor for what you want to have in life, whether it is a good job, a relationship, money, a big house, freedom, health, recognition, spiritual peace, or even an activity like jogging or golf. Each of us has our own idea of what cheese is, and we pursue it because we believe it makes us happy. The maze in the story represents where you spend time looking for what you want. It can be the organization you're working in, the community you live in, or the relationship you have in your life. The story has 4 characters: Sniff and Scary, who are little mice; Ham and How, who are little people. I call them the S and the H. Sniff, who sniffs out change early. Scary, who scurries into action. Ham, who denies and resists change as he fears it will lead to something worse. How, who learns to adapt in time when he sees changing can lead to something better. These 4 characters need to find their way in the maze and succeed in changing times. The mice, Sniff and Scary, possessing simple brains and good instinct, search for heart-nibbling cheese like as mice often do. The 2 little people, Ham and How, use their complex brains filled with many beliefs and emotions to search for a very different kind of cheese with a capital C, which they believed would make them feel happy and successful. As different as the mice and the little people were, they shared something in common. Every morning, they each put on their jogging suit and running shoes, leave their little homes, and race out into the maze looking for their favorite cheese. The maze was a labyrinth of corridors and chambers, some containing delicious cheese, but there were also dark corners and blind alleys leading nowhere. It was an easy place for everyone to get lost. However, for those who found their way, the maze held secrets that let them enjoy a better life. The mice, Sniff and Scary, used the simple trial and error method of finding cheese. They ran down one corridor, and if it proved empty, they turned and ran down another. They remembered the corridors that they held no cheese and quickly went into new areas. Sniff would smell out the general direction of the cheese using his great nose, and Scary would race along. They got lost, as you might expect, went off in the wrong direction, and often bumped into walls. But after a while, they found their way. Like the mice, the 2 people, Ham and How, also used their ability to think and learn from their past experiences. However, they relied on their complex brains to develop more sophisticated methods of finding cheese. Sometimes they did well, but at other times, their powerful human beliefs and emotions took over and clouded the way they looked at things. It made life in the maze more complicated and challenging. Nonetheless, Sniff, Scary, Ham and How all discovered in their own way what they were looking for. They each found their own kind of cheese one day at the end of one of the corridors in Cheese Station C. One morning, Sniff and Scurry arrived at Cheese Station C and discovered there was no cheese. They weren't surprised, since they had noticed the supply of cheese had been getting smaller every day. They were prepared for the inevitable and knew instinctively what to do. The mice did not overanalyze things. To the mice, the problem and the answer were both simple. The situation at Cheese Station C had changed, so Sniff and Scurry decided to change. They were quickly off in search of new cheese. Ham and How arrived at Cheese Station C. They had not been paying attention to the small changes that had been taking place each day, so they took it for granted their cheese would be there. They were unprepared for what they found. "It's not fair. No cheese, no cheese. Who moved my cheese?" yelled Ham. The little people's behavior was not very attractive or productive, but it was understandable. Finding cheese wasn't easy. They kept looking around Cheeseless Station C to see if the cheese was really gone. How kept on writing on the walls how he felt and thought. Ham and How did not know what to do. They kept going back to Station C to see if the situation has not changed, while they were still trying to decide what to do. Sniff and Scurry were already well on their way. They went further into the maze, up and down corridors, looking for cheese in every cheese station they could find. They didn't think of anything else but finding new cheese. They didn't find any for some time until they finally went into an area of the maze where they had never been before, Cheese Station N. They squealed with delight. They found what they had been looking for, a great supply of new cheese. In the meantime, Ham and How were still back in Cheese Station C, evaluating each situation. They were now suffering from the effects of having no cheese. They were becoming frustrated and angry and were blaming each other for the situation they were in. Now and then, How thought about his mice friends Sniff and Scurry and wondered if they had found any cheese yet. He believed they might be having a hard time, as running through the maze usually involved some uncertainty. But he also knew that it was likely to last for a while. Sometimes How would imagine Sniff and Scurry finding new cheese and enjoying it. He thought about how good it would be for him to be out on an adventure in the maze and to find fresh new cheese. He could almost taste it. The more clearly How saw the image of himself finding and enjoying the new cheese, the more he saw himself leaving Cheese Station C. But when he told him that they should go, he refused, and that held How back. He needed to have the courage to go out there alone. So every day, the little people continued to do what they had done before. They went to Cheese Station C, found no cheese, and returned home, carrying their worries and frustrations with them. They tried to deny what was happening. They found it hard to get sleep, had less energy the next day, and were becoming irritable. But Ham and How still returned to the Cheese Station C and waited there every day. They held chisel and hammer until they had made a hole in the wall of the Station C, but found nothing. How became anxious and wondered if he really wanted to go out into the maze. He knew sometimes some fear can be good. When you are afraid things are going to get worse, if you don't do something, it can prompt you into action. But it was no good when you are afraid that it keeps you from doing anything. He finally went out into the maze alone. He realized he had changed his beliefs. His new beliefs were encouraging new behaviors. He was behaving differently than when he kept returning to the same cheeseless station. He knew that when you change what you believe, you change what you do. He used his imagination again and saw himself finding and savoring new cheese. He had to let go of the past and adapt to the present. How proceeded along a corridor that was new to him, rounded a corner and found new cheese at Cheese Station N. He wondered for a moment whether it was real or just an imagination, until he saw his old friends Sniff and Scurry. Hal heard what he thought was the sound of movement out in the maze. Was it Ham arriving? Thanks for watching. Heart to Heart. From my heart to yours, it's all love. La 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 la. Heart to heart, from my heart to yours, it's all love. Thanks for watching Penyo channel. Take care, love, joy, peace, faith, hope. La la la, la 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 la, la la la, la la la.